Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together this Cheerful Snowman box, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So in this video we're going to put together this little snowman box. So here are there's two large white pieces and face pieces. We're not going to do that first. And then here are the side pieces. So there's two of each. And that'll be the bottom. It's just a cute little box for decor or a little gift. And then we're just going to slide these over. These are the pieces of the hat, so this is what's going to make up the hat, which is the lid. And then a couple lid pieces. One will connect to this top piece, and then another one will connect to the part that becomes the lid, so that inserts into the top. And then we have this top little snow panel, and then a little snowflake for the front, as well as a little headband, basically. So we'll put that aside, and that, and that. So we're just going to work on this piece. So here we go. You want to go ahead and once you get this cut out, is to fold on the scores. So what we're going to do is just glue it. I'm just going to glue the side tabs and go around. So let's just start that. You can start anywhere. Normally I use art glitter glue. I'm currently in a location that I don't have access to my normal glue, so that's why things look a little bit different. So I actually switched to Scotch Quick Dry, so I had that on hand. My other one was drying up, that little bottle. It's one of the reasons I don't like that bottle, because it actually dries up a little bit. So anyways, I don't have a fine tip applicator today, and most of this I won't need that. I like Scotch Quick Dry, I just don't use it every day. So if you've been watching my recent videos, you'll know that I've been using art glitter glue mostly. Why I'm not, I'm actually in a remote location filming this one because of family members. I had to come for family members to take care of somebody. Or actually, it's not me, it's not really me, but had to be here with my spouse. So see, we're just going to go around the edges here, and we're just going to glue the tabs. So when I was traveling, it got a little bit bent. I'd already cut these out, but it already got bent. Shouldn't have, but things happen. So there's no score, so what you'll notice is that you want to do the top one first. Line it up, so you're lining that edge up with the little tab fold. Once you get it lined up, you can apply pressure by reaching in on the tab and then matching up the next one. So it should be fairly even here when you get down there. So this one was a little bit uneven right here. So you can see it's coming together, the shape's coming together. There you go. Then we'll just continue around. So you can go ahead and watch me put this together. I'll do my best to stay in, to get the lighting so you can see it well. So go ahead and you can watch me, and when I get to the end, I will come back. So when we get to this very end piece, you can see that with a fine tip applicator, it's easier to get in these small areas, but I'm just going to do that. And I have a towel over here. I have this little wet paper towel, but I had another towel to wipe my fingers off. And just spread that glue a little bit so I could reach in, get this tab situated on the inside. So you just get that last tab put in. So there's the front and back, so that's the side, and then that's the back. So I got a little mark on it, but that's not a big deal. So we interrupt this little video with a different color hat. So sometimes things happen on a video, and I decided just to cut a black version out. But anyways, I thought I was videotaping, but I wasn't when I was putting this piece on. So anyways, we're going to do that with this piece. So this is not the final hat, but I don't want to skip any part of the assembly, so here we go. So assuming we just finished the, which was a gray hat before, we're going to go ahead and put these pieces together. So I found with this particular design, after doing this with another one, this is similar to our smiling jack-o'-lantern, I found out that the way that I did the hat, it might be easier the way I'm going to show you right now. So here I folded these down. First of all, I'm looking at the textured side of the paper, and I folded them down, the natural fold of the mountain folds. But we're going to want to fold these up to get them ready, as these will glue to the inside of the actual big part of the hat. Go like that. So, but we're not going to do that yet, but I just want to get it in place. So we're still going to flatten them out, but I just want to make sure they're ready to fold in. So this is the bottom. So this will be underneath. So we want the texture to be underneath, so all we're going to see is the texture on top and bottom, like that. But the thing we have to do really quick is to attach this little rim, so that's the lid for the snowman. So we'll just go ahead and, so this is a little piece that'll fit inside. We're going to put a little glue on this tab, line up the opposite edge, and you can put this flat. So I'm going to flatten this. Just do it like that. What we'll do is we're going to fold these backwards just like the other one, because we want the texture on the outside. So we're going to go like this. We're going to glue it on the inside. So this is the textured side, this is the non-textured side. So we'll just go ahead and add glue to this one tab. I'm just going to line it up. To put it on the wrong side, we don't want to make another mistake here. So make sure you're on the non-textured, that you're gluing it on the non-textured side. So we're just going to line that up. So we're lining, making sure this little edge here lines up to the inside tab fold here. So now I'm just going to fold, you can see like this, I'm going to fold all these tabs and fold them on the inside. What I like to do when I'm doing things like this is to glue the other side, so the opposite, so long side, we're going to glue the other tab, and that'll center it so we can easily glue these side tabs. So once I get it in place, I can flip it over, apply pressure. And then we'll just add glue to these remaining 4 tabs. So this is the comical thing about me redoing this. I literally went through this whole, you know, as speaking, and when I went to go stop the recording, I started the recording. So anyways, so I knew I didn't record. Oh, the trials and tribulations, and this is why it takes me so long. All my mistakes. So these are things you don't see sometimes. So I'm just folding the rest of these over, applying pressure on both sides, and the nice part is I'm going to glue this together with this, so you won't see any of that leaf glue. So if you're going to be careful around these edges, anywhere where you're on the textured side. Remember, this is the bottom of the hat now, so this is going to go inside the head. So now that we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and flip this upside down because we're going to add glue to the non-textured side of this. I'm going to get close to the edges here where the folds are. So I kind of want to do that. And then I'm just going to get glue around the edges. It may leak a little bit. I'm trying to thin it out towards the edge so it doesn't leak. But you want to get it as close as possible. And then this, we're just going to line it up. So we're lining it up with that opening. So what I'm going to do is just lightly place it there, lift it up, and line it up like this. Make sure it's lined up so I'm satisfied, and then I can apply good pressure. So I've done other designs like this where I do it after I put this piece inside. Well, this is just easier to apply pressure. So fortunately I made a little glue mistake here, but it wouldn't be seen as much because this is the bottom part of it. So, and this is just dried glue on my mat. So now what we got to do is to take this top piece and we're going to glue it inside. So we're going to fold this backwards so you can see that tab. I'm going to add glue on this tab. You just want to be careful you don't get too much glue towards that fold, because it'll show, it'll leak out. So we're just going to go ahead and I'm just going to take one side. So I do the longest tab first, just like we did the other one. Get it in place. Once I have it in place, I'm going to apply pressure. So I'm applying pressure on the inside and on the outside at the same time. You want to make sure that's good and secure before you do the final, all the other 8 tabs. So, and that's why we try to get really close here for those 2 pieces, so that doesn't separate on us. So I'm going to put glue on the remaining tabs. I'm going to just be careful how I glue it. Just make sure they're good and folded to fold inside. And then I'll just go around, and really the rest of this is really by feel. But just like I did the other, I'm going to carefully fold this over so I don't get any glue on places I don't want it on the outside. I'm going to just do that opposite tab. So I'm pushing this tab right here, that long one, up, getting this edge into that fold. And then once I have that in place, I can carefully go around, and all I'm doing is folding these in. So I'm folding them up, these little tabs, to fold to the inside of this hat. And if you just wanted to make this hat alone, you could just omit this piece, or you could make this solid by welding it. So this could be just a hat decor too if you wanted it just to take half of the design. So I'm just going around a little bit more just to make sure it's secured and glued together well. So you can't really see inside, but the tabs are glued inside. And then I'm going to show you this too, this part, because when I previously did it, I needed to size it up just a bit. So when you glue this on, you can start with this piece, it's up to you. You can start right here, and then go around, or start at this end piece. So I'm going to start at this front piece, one of the largest. And when you put it down, be careful not to put glue too high, because I actually put glue too high and then showing. So I like to show you the mistakes I make. So I'm pushing it down. So I'm getting it in place. And then you can go ahead and add glue to the remaining part. So I would just go towards the middle of this and not the top and bottom. So it gives you a little wiggle room. And just a hint, it's usually harder to put on the cardstock versus regular pattern paper. So it just wraps around, and then it'll glue around all the way around, just like that. So you'll just want to just make sure you put glue kind of towards the middle and not the tops and bottoms, because you don't want it leaking out the top and the bottom. So and also the other tip for this one is to keep it flush with the bottom, because I wanted it flush. Or you could omit this altogether and use something like ribbon or something like that, but that's up to you. So now we go back to the original design. Now that we're done with that. So we're just going to add glue to this top piece. I'm just going to put this straight on there. I'm just matching it up so the edges fold over. So just make sure you get it in the place where it pretty much is centered, and then we'll go ahead and just do this. And then you can just glue each of the panels to the side. So I'll do one, but so we're just going to add glue. So each of the panels you just lightly add some glue or adhesive, whatever you use, and then just fold it over. Just be careful about getting it too close to the edges so it doesn't leak out like that. So I'll go ahead and finish that, and I'll be back. So you can see we have the hat here. So we're just going to go ahead and add this, put this little snowflake together. Just going to glue this little piece in the middle. And whatever looks good to you. I mean, you can have them point at circles or have them go in between the little circles, but just center it. You can also add a little, I'm going to add this, but you could always add a little bit of twine or ribbon or something like that. So I'm just going to put this one in the middle. Actually, I'm going to add a little glue to the back of it. I'm just going to do dotted glue, because it's been my opinion that sometimes you get adhesive. These are from the outlet. These are like little adhesive gems. Sometimes over time the adhesive kind of goes wonky. Of course, the water, it's leaking out the glue. So I'll try to get that. Then, however it feels good to you, let's see. Let's go ahead and I'll just attach it somewhere right here. side maybe. Just put a little glue on the back there. But it would be fun with a little bit of just holding it in place. A little bit of maybe like a ribbon or something too. So that's the actual top here. Put that aside, and we'll move on to the head. So I started off wrong last time, so make sure you have the right parts. So this one's going to go here, and make sure by looking at the size of this. So I started gluing this one by accident. So you see how they're opposite like that? That's the way you're going to use. So fortunately I found out before I had to recut everything. So we're going to go ahead and take this one that's curved like this, and we're going to go ahead and line that up, making sure the top lines up. And we're lining up this edge to the tab fold. So just to show you, you can recover from an error if you catch it soon enough. I just sometimes, if you're not paying attention, which I wasn't, it happens to all of us, even the person that designs it. That was my chair that made that noise. So once we get that anchored, we're going to go ahead and glue the remaining tabs on the inside. So just make sure you have the right piece. I'm just going to do 3 of them to start. Then we'll go ahead and line them up. And just as we go along, we'll just do tab by tab. And I'm stopping right here. So I could have done all of them at once, but that's okay. I have one more tab, with the exception of the bottom piece. So I'm lining that edge up. And that's what it looks like on the inside. So you won't see it. And then we'll go ahead and continue and glue this on the outside. So I'll show you this side. So we're lining that up. So I always say anchor that whenever you're doing shaped ones like this, anchor the first one so it'll stay in place, and then you'll be ready to glue the remaining ones. It works for me. Try to give tips to people that may not do this all the time. Of course, people that do this all the time are probably more pros than I am. And then I'm just adding glue to the remaining 4 tabs. And we'll go tab by tab just like we did before. This is actually not that bad, just as long as you focus on lining up this edge to the tab fold, and I usually run my fingers over it to make sure that I'm in the right place. Then I do the next one. You want to do them in order too, because if you go down to the bottom one, at least for me, I mean some people are so much better than I am, but sometimes when I go to the bottom one first and I go, okay, I'll just line the rest of them up because it seems like a good idea, I'm off. So I was off just a little bit here, I can see. So, and usually when you're off just a little bit, it's not a big deal, but it's because either the first one usually is the culprit, or how you glue the next one. So just pay attention. It's kind of a weird shape. And if you want, here's a little tip, because at the very end we're going to glue this on the bottom like that. So if you want, this would be the time if you wanted to glue it on. I normally don't do this, but you could always secure this. I'm just going to show you because, I mean, it's something you can do. This is anything you can do. I'm folding it backwards, and I'm just going to get this ready. So when I get the last piece on, I'll have this ready just to fold over and glue on the remaining tabs. So I don't want to fight with the side a little bit, so we could do this after you get the sides on too. But I just wanted to show you could do that because it's not my way. Not much, at least. So, but you could wait until the very end for that. So it does get a little bit harder when you do it this way. It's not horrible because you can still reach inside and go around. So we'll go ahead and do that. Or if you prefer, you could just do both sides and then glue them together. So that's up to you too. So if you want to do just the other side of this, put these two sides on and then glue them together with these tabs. One side will be easier than the other, but you could do that. But I'm going to continue around. So I'll just continue, and you can, I'll just leave it so you can watch it, and then when we get to when we go to close it, I'll be back. And I'm going to do them all at once this time. So now we've got to the end, and I'm just going to flip that inside for now. We're going to add glue to all the tabs, and I'm just making sure it's light and towards the edge. I'm a little heavy-handed when it comes to this glue, and especially it's hard because it comes out pretty fast. So I'm going to gently pull it out, start lining it up. So I'll line it up to the top first. So you have a couple options. You can try to go one by one, but you might not be able to reach in. So I'm going to line it up on the bottom too. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on any of the other tabs because I'm just trying to get it in place. Then I'm just going to reach in and line up the other ones. So I want it to be as lined up as possible. And fortunately, I can reach in. You can try to reach in from the bottom too. Just having it So half the battle is just getting it in your hand the way it works for you, whether you're right-handed, left-handed, whatever feels good to you. Once you get it in place, you can always reach in, use a tool or your hand or fingers to apply pressure down. Just making sure everything's all set. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and glue these 4 remaining tabs. So you can do this all at once too if you didn't attach that bottom piece. So now we need to make sure that this is shaped appropriately. So we're going to line up the edge of this bottom panel to the edges of these folds here, the folds. We're just going to go ahead, fold it over. Kind of have to squish it to get it to squish out enough. And then you can see I have a little gap right there. So sometimes things don't work out the way you want. I have to get a little bit of glue in an area here, so I'm going to put a little glue on cardstock. And we're going to go right in here. This one tab wasn't secure or flattened, so it was causing me problems. So I may have to re-glue, but I'm going to see if I still have enough glue to do this. I'm just matching it up, going around the edges. That's the one with the gap. So at this point, once you get it lined up, you can reach in and apply pressure with your hands or with a tool. I have this Chinese chopstick, little takeout wooden chopstick, that I'm just applying pressure on the inside tabs. If you can get your hand in there, that'd be great too. So that creates the head. And then it's a little bit of a tight fit, but the lid goes right inside, like that. So it sits down like that. You can put a little gift in there, that'd be a nice little gift box. Or just a decoration piece. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and decide how I want to put this on. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the face on. So I think I want it to go sideways because I think it would be, that was my original design, was sideways. So if you want to dry fit it first and see how you want it, you could always go that way too. So that's up to you. So I'm thinking we should have a little pop-up. We'll just pop up the nose a little bit. So I added a little bit of foam tape to the nose, and I'm just going to kind of center it here. Going that way, and then I decided I wanted the eyes that way. So whatever feels good to you. There's really no rules when it comes to the face. Really no rules to crafting generally, so. Got a little bit of glue on my fingertip there. It's probably my #1 pet peeve when I do something, is when I get glue on my fingertip and where it shows. Just like I just did there. So, good thing when you're working on design and you have glue on your fingertips, you might want to go wash in between. So there's my little face, my snowman face. And then we'll move that. And then we can just go ahead and, it is a bit of a little fit to get that in, but there you go. There's the finished box. So you could have put I could have put the face a little bit higher, but it's really just, it's up to what you want to do. You even put, you know what, there's a lot of blank faces out there too. If you don't like these eyes and nose, you can go ahead and always, there's plenty of places you can get SVG files with just the nose and face. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this project, and thank you so much for watching.